Yeah, I texted him already, and we already faxed. Yeah, I messaged him already. Check 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, hey. 1, 2, 3, 4. Check, check, check. Hey, hey. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're a little bit boomy in here. I'm gonna have to turn this down.
It is a little bit louder than normal, but it sounds good though.
Cool. I'll turn it down a little bit in here.
I don't mind it.
You don't mind it?
I think it must be just the overall level is louder. Because normally I'm at 5 or above, and I'm at like 4.
After 300, I'm gonna do like a whole reset.
Yeah, I remember you saying you were gonna.
So that day is coming. Are y'all good? Y'all good? Feel good? All good?
No.
Thank you.
I don't have any audio. Hold on.
It's Kaplan's fault.
I had it on mute. All good.
Oh wow, that's a good one.
Just checking to make sure you guys are awake.
It's like me and the tone.
Yes. Noise. Add some noise. Well, welcome back. What have you been up to since we've seen you last?
I've been up to some resting, some training, some other private stuff. Yeah, I was spending sometimes with my family and train. That's what I've been doing, waiting for the fight finally come up.
Yeah, speaking about that, it was moved from UFC 298. What were your thoughts when you heard that it was going to be moving to a main event?
The fight, when a fight is moving, is a little bit hard because you are already heavy camp and you just a little bit tired and you're just waiting for the final day, and now it's rescheduled, so that's a little bit damage to the camp schedule. But it was cool. It's always nice to see your face on the posters, and yeah, so I agree. And since I know there was some problem with Tai there, so I had such things in the future, and somebody did it for me, so why not?
Was there any disappointment that you wouldn't be fighting in front of fans, and maybe was that replaced with the fact that now you're a main event where you can shine on this card?
Yeah, that's something I was thinking. Like, the UFC, the pay-per-view events are, a little bit more the bigger event. And it was nice to be in Anaheim, but still getting the main event. I think it's equal for this one, so nothing changed.
What do you think of your opponent?
I think Tai's excited fighters. Fans loves him. For sure, whatever first come to my mind is the heavy hands, storming forward, and try to finish dangerous, like till every very second of the fight. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That I would describe him.
Do you anticipate it going the full 5 rounds, or do you feel like you'll be able to get in and out of there pretty quick?
I don't mind going. I don't mind the cardio-wise going 5 rounds. I've been doing this before, and I'm pretty much sure about my cardio. But my approach is always go for the finish. Try to finish the fight, and I'm hoping to get that done.
Will you do a shoey with him afterwards?
It's funny. I've been asking this for long, and I never done it. And if there will be like a brand new shoe, maybe I will. But I might rethink it, because now I don't feel like I would like to. But there's a different emotion when you come off the fight, and maybe I will try. But at this point, my answer is I'd rather not.
Have you had a chance to kind of think past this fight? I know you don't want to look past him as an opponent, but have you set some goals in terms of how you see this year playing out for you?
Not really, because there's a learn which you get from every fight, and my last fight was a loss, and I was very good prepared for this one. Didn't expect that it won't last more than 90 seconds. So right now it's a little bit different approach in my head. Try to focus on this one. Try to rebuild my get back on the winning streak. And then we will start, creating the future. Right now, Tai is my, next step, and that's it. He's only in my head.
There's also quite a bit of confusion about what's happening with the heavyweight division right now. There's a champion and an interim champion, but the thought is that they won't fight each other next. So it's kind of putting a little bit of a backlog of title fights there. What are your thoughts on that? Do you feel like Jones should fight Stipe next, or do you feel like he should fight Tom Aspinall?
I have some insight about it, and I don't know if I want to share everything, but I don't mind it how it builds. I think for me personally, I would love to see the John Jones fighting Tom Aspinall, but whatever happens there and whatever brings attention to the heavyweight division is not like I'm not an expert how to keep it at the highlight. I'm just part of it, so I don't mind, and I don't want to say anything bad about the situation. For me, it's all good as long as I'm not there involved in a title shot. That's that's some other business right now.
So I guess we got to get you a couple shoeys, and then I'll ask you the question again while you're drunk.
Yeah, maybe that's when I answer it. But yeah, it's really tough one to to sort everything out. Yeah, if I was me deciding, I would see a John Jones fighting Thomas Pino.
Thank you.
And you mentioned that loss. The loss was to Aspinall, who eventually went on and now is the current interim heavyweight champ. Does that lessen that loss any by any means? I'm sure every loss sucks, but is it a little bit better because the guy went on to be a champ? It wasn't like he lost to a guy that then lost to his next fight. Does that lessen it any, or is that not something that you think about?
Yeah, for sure. When you have a loss, you just try to figure some stuff that will make it a little bit less painful. And yeah, that's one of the thing. And yeah, it's good to see that you are losing to the guy who is so good, and he proved it after my fight. So yeah, I just can see where the ceiling of Thomas Pinal is right now.
Yeah.
So when I was facing him, I knew how powerful he is. It's like I like to challenge myself, and yeah, I did. I took the risk, and if somebody would ask me to do it again, I will.
Well, I guess I was going to kind of ask, were there positives you could take away from it? Because like you said, in 90 seconds, anybody could take a punch, and especially in the heavyweights, it could just be that day, and that's your number. Or were there positives, or there things that you took away from that fight that you could use going forward?
It was tough to find any positives because, as I said before, I felt like I am in the best shape of my life for this one, and just the thing I need to accept it after this was like there is someone better than me in the sport, and whatever I could do is just go back to the gym and work on everything of every aspect, not changing something that I thought that would mistakes for sure. I need to work much on my defense. Yeah, that's one thing. But it's mentally it's hard to explain because the words never reflect that's what kind of a feeling you have and what kind of approaching you want to bring to another fight. But I just feel inside that brings me a lesson, and now I have a different approach.
And I know you said your cardio was great. You're feeling great coming into that last fight. You're about a month removed from when you were supposed to fight. What does that process do? Do you give yourself a couple weeks to kind of just relax and get away from weight cutting and training, and then you get back to it? Or what was the process for you to get back into shape again, knowing you had a time off?
But you mean after my...
how the fight got rescheduled.
Oh, rescheduled.
Yeah, like how do you deal with that month where they said, we're sorry, we're not going to put you here, we're going to put you here, but it's going to be a month later. Yeah. What do you do with that month?
Well, it's usually I just making a little bit low intensity during the training, but I keep training. Maybe a little bit less session during the week, and that's it. You cannot change that much because when I train, I never go to the training camp and say and see how many training session I have to do. It's like I just try to feel my body. When it's tired, you just need to get rest. When it's not tired, you try to go harder, and that's it. So when the fight was moved, I just listen to my body. If I feel like I'm already too much, I just took the day off or something like this, or maybe less intensity training. But it's I don't like to stick to any plan, like, not building this on myself. Try to, bring as hard as possible, but be wise also at the same time and listen to my body.
Sure. And I know you wanted to be in front of crowds, but you've had some really good luck, or good fights, I should say, good results at the Apex. Mm-hmm. So is there a point that does it feel confident? Do you feel confident when you fight at the Apex? Does it feel kind of like a home game because you've been here so often and you've had good results?
Yeah, that's one thing. Yeah, it's a lucky place for me. Fight the expert in the Apex, all wins. I fought in T-Mobile, or I had a win there. I got married in Vegas, and happy live ever after. So everything comes to to be this place is lucky for me.
I'm glad you said that. Your wife's going to be very appreciative that you said happy ever after. The smaller cage, do you like that sort of thing? You know, as opposed to, you know, maybe some of the bigger events, the octagon slightly bigger. Do you like the smaller cage?
There's other thing I don't, you know, put that much, you know, thinking about. It's sometimes, you know, can be your advantage, sometimes it's not, but we both can have advantage or disadvantage about this.
Sure.
It's whoever, you know, find it.
Yeah. And then last for me, I guess your keys to the victory. What needs to happen to make sure that you get your arm raised on Saturday?
No, sure, I need to, you know, keep my face away from his hands.
Sounds like obvious.
Yes, that's the thing. I thank God it's not a power slap. Yeah.
You're not a big fan of power slap?
I don't mind it, but you know, I wouldn't go for this one with Tai. Yeah. Especially if he starts first. Yeah, but for sure, you know, the other things. I believe in some of my skills in striking, in kickboxing, and I can handle some fights in stand-up position. Also, I can break wrestle and grappling, and we prepare for kind of few scenarios in that fight. And yeah, but I think the plan is something that's supposed to be in your head, but it have to happen a little bit subconscious. You know what I mean? Like you cannot overthinking about the stuff. So yeah, that's my approach.
What do you think of his striking?
Of his striking?
Yeah, I mean, obviously everybody knows he has power, but his technicality, how would you rate his striking?
The thing is, I'm not a big striking expert. Yeah, as you know, I rather judge the grappling of people, but it's not like maybe very technical, but you know, powerful, and that's enough. I don't think like you need to be very technical if you have a results. And he has there. He's been knocking out people, so I would say that. And then, you know, very explosive.
Marcin, I mean, we kind of touched on it right there, but I'm curious, like, you know, Tai Tuivasa is known for getting into his brawls and making fights crazy. Are you happy to be in one of those, or are you kind of hoping to avoid getting into a crazy fight with him?
I don't mind it. As I said, I like challenges, and he's challenge, and sometimes it's better when you know when you have someone who already go there to fight, rather than someone that you have to chase around the cage, around the octagon. So it's fine for me. I just I'm not trying to, you know, to see my opponent's style as advantage or disadvantage. I just see him and try to adjust.
Of course, man. And I've been around for a good while now. You know, a good veteran in the game, but still looking young and great up there, man. I'm curious though, like,
what's the secret?
Yeah, what's the secret? Without looking too far ahead, obviously not thinking about retirement or anything, but because you've been around for so long, I'm curious, like, do you have an idea of how much longer you want to fight for, man? You've fought in so many people.
I have no idea. I just feel like still doing good. You know, I can feel it on my training. I just feel it in the fight, and I think whenever the moment comes, I will just feel it. Just don't want to plan it, because also I have a mindset that when you're thinking about something in the future, you just, you know, bring it into your life. So I don't want to think about retirement. I just want to enjoy my sport career.
Not suggesting anything.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
But I mean, with that in mind, man, again, mentioned all the great opponents you fought. I'm curious, is there one that stands out to you as like the toughest guy you fought so far in your career?
Who would be the toughest?
Yeah.
Tom Aspinall, for sure. Yeah, I experienced his power, and yeah, he's the toughest one.
Yeah, of course. course, man. And last thing I'll ask you, Marcin, I just got to get your thoughts on, your fellow countrywoman, Joanna Jędrzejczyk, just got in the Hall of Fame. What was your reaction to that?
I love it. I think he did 100% deserve it, and I just waited actually for this to happen. So we love it. The Polish crowd is very proud for her and how she built, actually. I think she's the legend of the MMA in Poland. So, and worldwide for sure. For the women MMA for sure. So yeah, love it. She's my friend, and I really try to congratulate to her.
Best of luck, Marcin. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. But just a super fast one for me, kind of like a fun one. And thank you for taking the time to talk to us. They moved it, like you were talking about it with Kenny, from Anaheim, February, to here, Las Vegas. But what was the emotion like, the reaction when you said, wow, I'm in Las Vegas, I'm the main event, I'm on the poster? That's every fighter dreams of being on the poster in Vegas. And you did that now. So just how you reacted. Did you get emotional? Were you happy? I think you cried, but how was it when you got that news?
The thing is, first I had to tell my wife that we don't go on a vacation in February 18th.
Oh, man.
So yeah, that was one of the things. No, but I just woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning and I saw a message from my manager that the fight is moved. So the emotions were mixed, between not getting the fight done, so on, and I'm already in a hard training camp, and maybe not being as a big pay-per-view event right now, but still getting the main event, another post, the poster with my name, also was something that made me happy for this one. So mixed feelings, like always in life.
Excellent. Thank you, sir, and good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
Thank you. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Take off. Hey, don't move. So we got another 50-time perfect test history jacket for our latest recipient, Marcin. And interesting, since we transitioned the program this year and announced it last year, by far the number one question and feedback we get from our roster is, are we continuing the recognition program? Because it's meaningful for these guys. In this scenario that Marcin's in this week, where he's the main event fighter, spotlight and the focus is all on him, a small but significant part of that story is how he's done his career in the UFC. And what that is he's been accountable for over 3,000 straight days of being tested any day, any time, and he's come through without a blemish. So we're really proud of you. We appreciate what you do. Thank you for being a role model to the UFC, to MMA, and really to all athletes in general.
Thank you.
And congratulations, Marcin.
I love it.
Looking
I've
good.
been waiting for this.
Awesome. My Polish brother right here.
Thank you.
Take a picture or two. Thank you, guys. Congrats, Marcin.
Thank you so much.
Did you guys just see what Jorge just tweeted? No. Me and Nate. You knew that already? Yeah. 23 seconds ago.
He means it came out somewhere else.
Oh,
She said.
okay.
She just lives in Twitter.
So wait, what happened, Amy? Because I'm a...
Nate and Jorge are fighting.
In what?
I don't know.
Like the game bread fighting?
It's not. It doesn't look like it's for game bread. It says last man standing, pay-per-view, something. I don't know.
So that's in June, right?
How are we doing?
Good, but that's my question. How are you doing?
I'm doing amazing. Happy to be here. Grateful for the opportunity, and yeah, ready to get this done.
And we haven't seen you since August. Is that an appropriate amount of time for you, or did you want to fight a little bit sooner than that?
Yeah, I wanted to fight again in November, December. I just never got the call, didn't get an opponent, so now it's the next best date. They called me, I took the fight the same day, so no problem there.
What do you do during that time when you're just waiting for a fight? How do you stay motivated?
Man, I train full time. I train every day, regardless of if I have a fight or not. That, as well as my daughter's being born here in a couple weeks, so that was a big motivation this camp, and really just kept me focused and grounded.
When you have a child on the way, how difficult is that to train? Because I imagine there's a lot to get ready for a new baby.
It was actually really easy. It was nothing changed. My lady back home, Alexa, she is an amazing mom. She's going to be an amazing mom, and she did everything for me this camp. She really dialed in and sacrificed her time and all the love that she wants for me to prepare for this fight and be ready.
You mentioned that you took the name right away. What did you think when you got the name and the date and all that? What were your thoughts?
I thought it was a tough fight. I've seen Christian fight plenty of times before on previous cards, and I was impressed with him. He's a tough kid, but I just think I'm better all around, and it's my time.
And he's coming up in weight. So is it difficult to be fighting somebody that you haven't seen? I guess how difficult is it when you're looking at his tape to know what he'll be like at this weight? Do you think it will affect him enough that it could affect the way that you look at his tape?
Yeah, I mean, the difference is I'm a grown man, and he's been fighting little kids, basically, at 135. If I get a hold of a 35-pounder, it's a wrap. So he's going to have to put on a lot of size in a few months, and I just don't see that happening. So I think I'm going to have a power advantage, strength advantage, and I think we'll get to see that.
I know he is coming up in weight, but he does have a history of missing weight. Is there any worry that he could still miss weight? Because we have seen that before where someone will come up in weight and still miss.
I hope he does. I need the money bad, so yeah, I hope he does. It wouldn't be a problem for me. I'll still take the fight regardless.
What sort of fight are you expecting from him?
I'm expecting him to try to take me into deep waters. That's what he's done with most of his other fights. There's been a lot of questions saying that I can't go into deep waters, blah, blah, blah. But I think we'll get to see something special on Saturday.
Do you anticipate it going the full 3 rounds?
No, not at all. I think I can finish him in 1. I think it's going to be tough. I don't take him lightly at all. But I think my skills are there. I train with some of the best guys in the world, Chris Gutierrez, Jonathan Martinez, Yusuf Zalal, and one of the best gyms in the world. So I've seen it all, done it all, and, it's just time to make it happen on the big stage.
Have you guys interacted at all in the lead up to the fight?
Nope. He said it's personal, but you don't want personal beef with crazy people. I'm from Kansas. We're pretty wild.
So he says it's personal?
Yeah, I don't know why, but that's what he said. I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to ask him that. Thank you.
Thanks, boys, for taking the time. I had to ask because you mentioned Chris and Jonathan. How awesome is it to have not just that type of talent to make you harder, to make things difficult if need be, but also emulate your opponent to be like, all right, man, this is the looks he might give you. We're going to figure this thing all the way out.
Oh, we have some guys with some of the best eyes in the UFC. These guys can see all tendencies. They see everything, and they're good at replicating. We didn't really have to do too much because it's really me. If I perform the A-plus fighter that I can be, it's no problem. If I go out there and don't show up, that's where the problem creeps in. So really just having those guys around and getting the looks, because obviously I don't have a lot of fights. I'm 6-0 as a pro. So having those guys that are vets and have been doing this for a long time, and I get to train with them every day, it's amazing. I've seen it all.
Well, shout out to that 6-0, because even if it's just 6-0, that's still respectable, and also in the UFC. So that's just doesn't get any bigger than that. With the training and the motivation and drive, not that you lack it, but that fatherhood coming up now, how are you able to blend the two together? How does that refocus now?
I think it'll be easy, man. I wanna raise a gym rat. My daughter's gonna be raised in a gym, and she's gonna be feral like me. So I have no doubts about that, man. I live in an RV right now, and we're gonna stay in the RV regardless of what happens this fight. I want her to grow up on a farm and work with animals and do real things, work with her hands, not be one of these Instagram models or blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean?
I can dig it. And if baby girl has that farmer strength, man, she's destined to be a fighter. I mean, we just had Joanna, you know, like in the Hall of Fame. One day you could be like, man, I'm going to coach you. I'm going to reverse roles.
Yeah.
How exciting. The farm thing, like this is how you were raised, how you brought up. Does that help you stay grounded and not get caught up with the social media stuff like you mentioned and the digital stuff and all that?
Yeah, I grew up a small town, man. I grew up riding dirt bikes in creeks and swimming in dirty water and stuff. So I like going back home. I don't like being in the city. And, you know, I think that's where I belong, and that's where I'll end up when I'm done fighting. Right now I'm in Denver at Factory X. It's all right. I get out in the mountains every weekend, so I'm always outside and doing something.
That's awesome, man. And you touched about it a little bit earlier with Amy and them. With that advantage that you have, just a natural guy at your weight, you're about to tangle with someone moving up. In Colorado, there's no way you don't have like the most intense cardio because of the elevation. Is that also a factor just going into Vegas that you're going to be good if it was a 25-minute fight?
Yeah, man, I train for a 25-minute fight right now. The big thing is I'm always ready. And like I said, people doubt my cardio because I've only been in the first round. You know, I'm excited to talk to my coaches in the middle of the fight. I'm excited for that. You know, I can go in the deep waters. I've been wrestling since I was 8 years old. I've been competing in one-on-one combat sports since I was 8 years old. So it's nothing new to me. And, you know, I run up in the mountains at 10,000 feet every weekend. So, you know, it's funny when people say that, and we're going to get to see a show.
Man, I can't wait. Well, if you are right about Saturday getting that first round finish, looks like you might be upgrading that RV.
Yes, sir. That's what we're looking for.
All right, good luck on Saturday.
I know you talk about talking to your coaches. You know, part of the Apex is that you could hear your coaches as your fight's going on. You've had a fight here before. You know, a lot of fighters always want to rush. They want to get to the big arenas. But do you enjoy these Apex shows while they're still happening in your career?
Yeah, man, I don't mind them. The biggest thing, my biggest dislike with them is just the exposure you get. You don't get as much exposure at the Apex. But other than that, you know, it's another Friday for me. We spar every Friday in the cage, and, you know, so nothing new, man. I've been prepared for this. I've been bred for this, and it's my time.
You know, and coming in with that 6-0, you know, with the undefeated with that you know, a lot of guys are going to be putting that target on your back. Is that the kind of thing that you embrace and that you're hoping for? And is that the kind of thing that, not that it's pressure, but do you enjoy that anticipation that fighters going to come in there trying to take that away from you?
Yeah, I feel like I've always had a target on my back ever since I was a little kid. And I fully believe that pressure is something that you put on yourself. It's not a real thing. You know, it's really just about performing to your best ability. And when you do that and you've been prepared and you put in the work, the stars align for you. And that's what I base my whole career off of before fighting and as I'm a professional athlete in the UFC.
I don't want to take any guesses, but you said you've been dealing with this since you're a little kid. Is that just... Did people try to bully you? Were you a short kid? I mean, what do you mean when you've been?
I mean, I've always been short, but like I said, I've always competed at the highest level. Gotcha. You know, my grandpa sacrificed his job and put all his money and all his time into me, taking me across the United States to train with the best guys, wrestle the best guys, compete with the best guys. So, like I said, I've been doing this since I was 8, and I fully believe that he put me in this position, and I owe everything to him.
Is your grandfather still around?
Yeah, he's still around, and this is actually going to be the first time he gets to. We got him tickets, so this is going to be the first time he gets to watch me fight live in the UFC. So I'm super excited for that, and just blessed the UFC gave me those tickets.
I was going to say it's got to be a special moment for you and for him. You know, is he the kind of? Does he give you feedback on your fights, or does he just enjoy that you're enjoying yourself? Is he the kind of break down tape with you?
No, he just enjoys it. You know, he's a Vietnam vet. He's getting old now, and, you know, I just wanted to fight in front of him in the UFC before he expires. So that's just such a blessing to me, and something that, you know, if it didn't happen and he passed away before he got to watch me fight, I really didn't think I would continue fighting, you know. So I'm just super happy that he's going to be here, you know, performing in front of him and the rest of my family. That's why I fight. I don't fight for myself. I don't fight to be cool on social media, blah. I fight for my family and to provide for them and to make them proud. And I feel like I've made him proud, but I want to make him even more.
That's incredible. I'm so happy that you get to have that happen for him out there as well. Last for me, I know you said you know the kid's already going to be a gym rat. I assume mom's already on board with that, and is mom maybe a gym rat as well?
Yeah, she's a fighter as well. You know, she had to take some time off since she's pregnant, but she will be back in the gym. I'll be in the gym. Baby girl will be in the gym, and you know, Alexa might be in the UFC here in a couple of years. So I keep an eye out on that as well.
That's awesome. And if you get that bonus, you're gonna take that and get some land.
That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for some land. The biggest thing is in Denver, it's so expensive, man. It's so expensive. Back home, I can get a lot of land for the money. But, yeah, I want to put the RV on some land for a few years, keep fighting, keep hoarding my win bonuses and blah, 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 and, you know, eventually build a tiny house and have a lot of acres and do whatever I want, ride dirt bikes, hunt, set up bear traps, pipe bombs, everything out there, you know.
Maybe
I'm gonna train some coyotes to bite anything with a badge and a fade.
I like it. I like it. I almost lost my train of thought thinking about the pipe bombs. I love it. Does that mean would you possibly consider relocating, or is Colorado and Denver your thing?
No, I think I'm gonna stay there until my fight career is done, and then, you know, I'll really start looking to, I don't know where I'm going to go yet, but I want to be somewhere where no one can find me. I don't got to talk to people and mess with people. I want to be out by myself with my family and, you know, do all the cool stuff.
Yeah, I'm thinking you need to look at Texas, maybe some Nevada area where you can get out and go crazy.
I can't do
Colorado
Texas.
might be a little too conservative.
Yeah, they are. Trust me. Maybe Montana or something, you know, something where I can hunt and do some cool stuff. Texas I'll get in trouble down there.
Best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
I just thought of one more. You mentioned you're undefeated. Your opponent has taken the O of his last two opponents. What do you think if there's any kind of superstition with that? Do you think about that when you're accepting a fight or thinking about a fight?
No, like I said, you know, he beat Raul. I feel like Raul kind of got the silver spoon in the division, and, you know, he's 18 years old. He beat an 18-year-old great, you know, and then he beat Saman, another young guy. Not saying these guys can't be great because they have tons of potential and tons of time, but they're young. Like when I was 18, I wasn't ready for this, you know, and so he beat these young guys, so that has nothing to do with me. I'm a grown man. I've been training for this, and, you know, I have a different style than those guys as well. So I think that's where the difference is right there, is the style.
Thank you.
How y'all doing?
Well, welcome back. How are you feeling?
I feel great. I feel good.
What have you been up to since we've seen you last?
Training, acquiring more skill set to match up with my physicality.
Nothing fun? Every time I ask somebody, I want them to say like they went on vacation or something. Nobody ever does anything
No
fun.
vacation, you know. Just gotta keep building on. You know, I started this sport late, so I had no time to rest. Gotta keep on acquiring that skill set. You can't stop learning.
Can you talk to me about this matchup? What do you think of your opponent?
Oh, Ovince Saint Preux is a vet. He's been around a long time, and the old dog, has a whole bunch of skills up his sleeve. And I just can't take him lightly. These vets, they have so many tricks, and one thing you can't purchase is experience. And that's something I have to be dialed in, tuned in, and making sure I'm on my P's and Q's.
And I know you're coming off a loss, but they always say that there's no loss if you learn something.
Yes.
What did you learn from your last fight?
More experience, living in the moment. I'm trying to, not just show up, but show out, and have fun. It's not just a job, that's what I chose, the path I chose, so make it happen. Just have fun.
What are you expecting? What sort of fight are you expecting from OSP?
It's going to be an explosive fight because he's very explosive, Has a lot of fast-twitch muscle fibers, so he likes to explode into things, and what's my skill is just pressure. I got to add the pressure, merge the pressure with the skill, and grab the victory that night.
And there's a big fight coming up in your division. Who do you think is going to win between Alex and Jamal?
That's a tough one. Jamal.
How do you think he'll win?
I think Jamal's his pace and his aggression is going to overwhelm Alex.
And looking ahead at this year, what are your goals for the year?
Just fight more, fight more, learn more, and just keep building. You can't be complacent in any sport, in any job, in any profession. So just keep working and keep acquiring more skills before I call it a career.
When you mentioned you want to fight more, would 3 fights a year be good? 4 fights a year?
Anything they could get me, just stay busy. I just want to stay busy. I don't have a lot of skills right now, but I'm acquiring more. But I need to continue to obtain that, so I can continue to merge that with my sport.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hey, but thank you for taking the time.
Yes, sir.
I just want to touch on something you just mentioned with Amy. You said that multiple times. More skills.
Yes.
And you're here in the biggest organization, surrounded by amazing talent like Uriah. But how do you stay grounded? Because a lot of guys kind of forget that white belt mentality and to be humble and be like, nah, I got it all figured out. How do you stay grounded and know you have to work on something and surround yourself with honest people that can tell you, like, this needs to be fixed ASAP?
Hey, number one foundation is God. God keeps me grounded, and He humbles me. So with that as my foundation, I can never be misled.
Yes, sir. You have a big name in front of you. How are you able to separate, Kenny, the fan, the person who loves this thing, from the combatant and the professional athlete? Because kind of like when Uriah fought Anderson Silva, it must have been like wow, like that's a legend right there in front of me. Now you have a guy who fought for the belt. Is there anything mental that goes into that to separate, like, yeah, I'm a fan and you did great, but I want to be just as good, if not better than you, so I'm going to have to, I got to step on you and get you out of the way?
Oh, just because the guy's trying to separate me from consciousness. So that's all I need to, keep me compelled to get the victory. So, I'm just trying to win, trying to pay the bills, help my family out, both my family here and my extended family back in Africa. Just want to help them out. So I have a lot of things to do, so I just got to go in there and get the finish.
Yes, sir. And let me follow up on that. How have you been able to use your platform as an MMA fighter, a UFC fighter, especially when you're holding down two families like that, to where some of us don't have that outlet, but you do? What have you done that we haven't seen, or anything you want to express, and use your platform as a fighter to bring attention to something specifically, even back home?
Well, I use my platform just to praise God. There's so many people that I do and enlighten, and I never know. You never know who you're helping mentally, and who might be dealing with some distress somewhere else. And one thing I noticed when I went to one of the jiu-jitsu tournaments, I realized there was 3 kids that approached me and asked me to get a picture with me, and they told me that I helped them a lot get through hard moments in their life, and I didn't know that. But I guess the platform, the way I spread God's word and help talk about getting through things in life, hard circumstances, it helps people a lot. So that's all I want to use my platform for, to help promote people and encourage people to go out there and strive for the best, and don't feel complacent. Don't become mediocre in life. Just keep pushing.
Did that take you back a little bit? Was it surprising us, obviously, that you're reaching people you didn't even know, making connections, inspiring folks, and while you're doing your job?
Yeah, it's crazy, right? I mean, never know till you know. So I know without knowing that I'm helping people, but I just gotta stay consistent, stay disciplined, stay grounded, like you spoke about earlier, and stay humble. That's all.
Excellent. Thank you, sir, and
Thank
good
you
luck
so
on
much.
Saturday. All right.
you've always kind of been a quiet, almost shy sort of guy, you know. So when people coming up wanting to talk to you and tell your story, was that a little hard or awkward at first for you to have people come up and thank you for you being you?
You know, I resonate with those people, you know. I'm just a human. There's nothing different from me than other people, casual person. And I just got to use my platform to the best of my ability and promote and help people, uplift people. So at the end of the day, we're all going to die, you know. So how's your story going to be told? So I want my story to be told in a more beautiful manner, knowing that I did help people. I wasn't selfish, and I was selfless.
That's incredible.
Yes, sir.
When you look at this fight camp, did you bring anybody in to try to emulate OSP, or is it just go with the big bodies that were already there at the gym?
Yeah, I have everyone I need. I have Alonzo, I have Ryan Span, I have Uriah Hall, and I mean, there's nothing else you really need there. You just got to dial in mentally and be able to absorb that information. Sometimes we feel like he said, we think we all have it all figured out, but you don't. So if you stay in that student mode, you make a more measured approach in what you're acquiring in life. So I just stay disciplined, stay humble, stay consistent, and continue to learn from the vets.
And I know you're always working on your striking, you're getting better and better, but I have to think that the fight camp had to deal a lot with takedown defense. I imagine you guys are planning that that's going to be a big goal of his, is going to try to get you to the ground.
We're just working on everything, try to be a full range martial artist, but we're working takedown, striking, and everything. You know, my striking, my takedown is not the best, but I'm learning. I'm still learning. I'm not quitting on myself. I'm still learning. That's all I have to do. That's the only time I have to do. Yeah. Everything I do is just based on my spiritual life in Christ and learning from the best of my teammates.
I love to hear it. And the belief in yourself from when you first started with the UFC in the beginning of your career here to now, how much more do you believe in yourself now from when you started?
It's grown exponentially, you know. When I first started, I knew I was lacking a lot. So in my mind, I'm like, how do I gain all this stuff I'm lacking, which is experience. You can't purchase that. So in my mind, it wasn't totally focused on like the media stuff, but it was focused on how do I acquire and obtain those skills and the experience. So I know I had a lot to do, so I had to go through the trenches. So now I feel like I'm obtaining a lot, and I'm learning so much, and I still have more to learn. And the more I learn, the more comfortable I get, the more I see, you know?
That's awesome. Last thing, keys to the victory. What needs to happen to make sure that you get your arm raised on Saturday night?
Be smart, stay dialed in mentally, utilize the game plan, and implement it properly.
Best of luck.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes, I have a question. As a fighter, I have been in the game for so long now. We've seen you go through the ups and downs, the trials, the tribulation. I want to know, what title would you give this chapter in your life today?
Man, I don't know, man. Uriah's tripping. He's always trying to put you on the spot.
The accent's good.
I'm like, bro, I know he should go to Hollywood or something. But I tell him let's go to Africa. He doesn't want to go. But I don't know, man. He's getting the accent right. That's a real black diamond right there.
Dynamite.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
Hi, guys.
Bye-bye.
Hello.
Hi guys.
All right, well, welcome back. How are you feeling?
I feel great, thank you, and you?
I'm great. How was the layoff, September to now? Is that an appropriate time, or did you want to fight a little bit sooner than that?
No, that's perfect. I got some injuries after my fight, so I had to take care of it, and it's just the perfect timing for me to fight now.
Is this your first co-main event in the UFC?
That's my first co-main event in the UFC.
Does it feel different yet, or do you feel like you're going to have to wait for that feeling when it's the main event?
For me, there is no difference. A fight is a fight, but I'm definitely grateful for the spot, so I'm excited about it.
Can you just talk to me a little bit about the matchup? What do you think of the matchup?
Bryan Battle, great fighter. He's good everywhere, I think. I'm looking forward for this fight. I've been waiting for this fight for a long time already. I never called him out, but I was like, I want to fight this guy one day, and now the opportunities come for me, so I'm excited for this fight.
Why him of all people?
He won the Ultimate Fighter, so that's exciting. That's a challenge for me. That's a great fighter, and I want to fight the best.
What sort of fight are you expecting from him? Do you think it will go the full 3 rounds, or do you feel like you can get in and out of there pretty quick with him?
I don't think it's going to go till the judges called. I think I'm able to finish him before.
And you don't have a finish yet in the UFC. Is that something that you've kept in the back of your mind that you're hunting for, or is that something you don't want to think about? You don't want to put that pressure on yourself?
I don't have no pressure about finishing or not finishing. For me, the goal is to win my fights. It's always better if I got a finish. And yeah, I give always 100% when I'm fighting. So if I get a finish, that'd be even better.
Have you had a chance to kind of think about this year and set some goals for yourself for this year yet? Or do you want to wait till you get through this fight?
No, I already have some goals set. I want to get to the top 15 before the end of the year. So I want to be active after this fight as well.
Do you have a name you want to? You don't have to tell me who the name is, but do you have a name of somebody you want to call out? You've been thinking ahead a little bit, or
Nah, not really, not really. I fight everyone, you know. I trust the UFC for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for taking the time to meet with us. How has just curious, how has training been here in Las Vegas? Acclimating to the city, you know, the multiple gyms, even the Performance Institute. Have you used any of those things? How has training been leading up to this fight?
I mean, I just came here yesterday. Yeah, I was moving around yesterday in the PI. Feels great. So my training camp was back in Florida and not here. But I love the facility here. They treat us very, very well. So that's good to be here.
Yes, sir. You've had that Florida. You got that humidity. You know, it's just a whole different look and just energy. How's that compared to Las Vegas with the dry heat and, you know, like just, I mean, it is still the fight capital of the world.
To be honest, it doesn't change much. I'm just here for a few days, you know. Yeah, it doesn't change anything for me.
With, you know, going from coast to coast and just, I'm sure you've adjusted, acclimated. Did you have time to really do the game plan thing? How do you study your opponent? Are you somebody that studies tape? Or do you just go by your abilities and what you're capable of doing and then worry about what he can do?
No, we're doing both. We study for sure, you know, but the fight is a fight. Anything can happen. So I have like different look in my gym as well, different training partner I train with. We're ready for anything.
And you mentioned earlier that you want to be able to work your way up, have these goals, make it to the top 15.
Correct.
Does this help get to these goals, the fact that you're co-main event and, you know, more exposure, more people are going to see you on Saturday?
For sure, 100%. Like I said, I'm very grateful for the opportunity the UFC is giving me by putting me on the co-main event. And yeah, I'm looking to make a statement on Saturday night.
What's that statement going to be like? What are we looking for?
Putting away a guy like Bryan Battle.
Excellent, Zero. I can't wait to see it, and good luck on Saturday.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, guys.
Actually, I need a haircut. I'll get one on Friday.
I kind of like when fighters don't have a haircut because that tells you you've been in the grind. You've been all grimy and getting dirty.
You on TV though.
Makeup.
So is this haircut a pre-fight ritual? You always do a haircut before a fight?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of fighters do. Yeah, you just wanna, I don't know. It's just something I've been doing forever. I like it.
Is it a because you know you're going to be on TV thing, or is it like a cutting away the old, starting the new?
Nah, I just always do it before I get on TV. I typically have one right now, but I was in a rush leaving town and I didn't have time, so I got my brother's barber up here that I'm going to use.
So now for the important stuff. It's been a year since we've seen you. Can you talk to me about what you've been up to in that year?
Lifing, that's about it. You know, just still in the gym training, you know, family, kids, so that's about it. But other than that, man, like, just happy to get it in again. So I've been feeling good. I don't know, just happy.
Did you need that time off, do you think, or were you kind of eager to get back during that time?
In a way, it was a blessing just because, like, people don't understand, like this game, especially early on in my career, like, I was involved a lot. Like, if you see me, I don't even know. I think this fight might put me at or time me for either put me at the most fight in the light heavyweight division or have me tied at the light heavyweight division. But people don't realize early on in my career I wasn't beat up, but like now it's just like even the year I didn't want it off, but I needed it because my body feels great now. So
was there any time during that break that you felt like that you might not return? Was there any time where you felt like this is lasting too long?
Nah. I tell you one thing I do that I think I have above a lot of other fighters is, and the reason I'm able to last as long as I am and the reason I'm able to do as much as I'm able to do is me actually taking care of my body. And I tell people that comes from, you know, me playing football at University of Tennessee. Hey, look, I need to get this done. I need to get that done. So it's like a weekly regimen where I'm getting deep tissue done, you know, where I'm seeing the chiropractor. If I feel something is kind of off or whatnot, I don't try to fight through it. I can kind of taper back. Hey, look, I got this going on. And me actually seeing the right PT people asking the right questions. Because over time, I get to know my body. And especially when you're talking to a PT person, I'm like, hey, look, I know where I'm hurting. And you start actually using their lingo. They were like, okay, you've done this a time or two before, so you know what you're talking about. So with me doing that, that helped out tremendously. Like literally, if I'm hurting somewhere, I'm like, hey, I'm around this area is hurting. What's the name of this area? And then be like, okay, this is the name. So if I go to somebody else, I don't have to worry about, oh, I forgot the name. I know everything. Hey, this part of my body is hurting. This is the type of treatment that works for me. This is the type of treatment that actually I have, like, you know, good work with. Some people would be like, okay, no, I don't like to do it this way. I say, look, I'm telling you what's worked for me, and we can try it, but this is what works for me, and I know how my body responds to it. So that's kind of one of the helping factors where I listen to my body, I know what's wrong with my body, and I actually know where to go and how to get it taken care of.
So can you talk to me a little bit about the phone call when you got the name Kennedy? What were your first thoughts? You know, the return, the date, the location, all of that.
It was a good phone call. Like I said, I just want to get back in there. I mean, the 205 division, like it's different. Right now, it's so shook up. It's crazy because, you know, for, you know, the better part of 10 to 15 years, you only had like 2 champs in that division. You know, that was John in DC. Now in the past year and a half, how many times the belt's been switched around? It's been crazy. But the 205 division, like, I'm kind of, I guess, one of the last guys that's in there. But still, I still feel great, feel fast, feel strong. So when I got the phone call, I was definitely excited about it. Good matchup. He's a tall. He actually got Yeah, it actually has more reach than I do. So, a lot of guys I end up having probably an inch. He has an 83-inch reach, long. He likes to strike. He's good at, I guess, surviving sometimes an onslaught and then coming back and finishing people, whatnot. And a lot of people try to gas themselves out finishing him. So I know with me, I got to be careful on that aspect. But he's a good fighter. I tell anybody, anytime he'll be like, oh, well, he's an okay fighter. I'm like, bro, he's fighting in the UFC. If you fight in the UFC, you're a pretty freaking good fighter. So.
Are you expecting to have to go the 3 rounds with him then? It sounds kind of like you might be.
Man, I'm expected to go 8 seconds, which is the fastest fight I ever had in my life. I'm expected to go 3 rounds. So whether I can finish the fight in 8 seconds or I can finish the fight, 3 rounds at the end of the night, the only thing that matters at the end of the night is me getting my arm raised at the end of the night. So if it's 8 seconds or if it's, 3 rounds, I'm good to go.
I noticed you had a trailer for a movie on your Instagram. Are you in that movie?
No, I am not. I just, my manager told me to put a trailer movie. The movie's actually out right now. I'm actually going to watch it here probably this week.
Is there any desire to be in a movie? It sounded like no.
I mean, I was in one a while back.
What movie?
Was it Black Bear?
Okay. What did you play a fighter?
Yeah, I played a bad guy.
So what did you think of the experience?
It's kind of like choreographed dancing. To be honest, as a kid and when you used to watch all the action-packed movies, all the fight scenes, you'd be like, oh my God, this is so unreal. Like you want to try them, but everything's choreographed and people really don't get hit. But still, it's Hollywood. Hollywood makes everything looks good.
Have you seen the trailer for Connor's movie, Roadhouse?
I've seen the trailer, so that was pretty good.
Does it look authentic? Because I think a lot of people think it looks cheesy, but I mean, it's a movie. Like you said, you're not really getting hit. How much?
I don't know. I've seen the trailer. I have to. They show the fight scene, and basically the clip goes off somewhere else. So I've seen it. I just I don't know. I want to check it out. I'm gonna check it out, but what movie? The movie that I really wanted to think about was Black Panther 2. Reason being because a lot of that shooting that they had took place in Haiti. I'm Haitian, so I saw the transition. I saw the back lingo of everything or whatnot, and that was actually pretty cool.
So that might be a career you're gonna look into.
I'm just saying that would have been a movie. I'm not saying it's a career, but I'm just saying that would have been a movie I would have been in. I would have wanted to be in.
Awesome.
But,
last one for me. You already mentioned that the 205 division is kind of in a jumble right now. Just curious what you think of the upcoming fight between Alex and Jamal.
The thing about it is, I think a lot of people, Alex is, you see, everybody has, you've seen all the memes about Alex, always have the purple face or whatnot. And the thing about Jamal is not phased. I mean, he's coming off an injury, so that's going to be a big thing. And Alex got some mean calf kicks and whatnot. I don't think this fight will go to the ground at all. Jamal likes to strike. Alex likes to strike. Jamal hits hard. I fought him. He hits hard. But the thing about Jamal is he's not the type of guy that's going to just, give up. You can tell he's not going to be the guy that give up. So it should be an interesting fight. It's going to be a definitely, back and forth type deal. But I think the conclusion of the fight is going to be, I think how Jamal is going to trust his body or whatnot. Because, sometimes it's his first fight from coming off an injury, and he's been out for over a year. So, and Alex actually been active in the 205 division, and he stays active. And he's I don't know how the hell he made it down to 85. I'm still I don't know how the hell he made it down to 85.
He probably has a twin brother that's much leaner than him.
Probably so. Yeah. Bruh. I'll be looking at him, I'm like, how do you make it down to 85? And the next day he's 215, 220. So it should be a good fight, though. It should be a really good fight. I'll definitely be watching.
And you mentioned, there had been some long-standing champions before that. Do you think either of those men could become a long-standing champion, or do you think they're kind of not quite the John Jones type?
Well, that's the thing, though. I think right now the era of mixed martial arts is like really good striking right now. And again, the game evolves tremendously because you get guys like, you know, I don't know, you get champions like 15, 20 years ago. At this weight class right now, it would have been hard for them to be a champion. Because, I mean, it started off with like aggressive type strikers. Then the wrestling came into play. And then basically it started off with jiu-jitsu, then wrestling, then striking. Then now people defending takedowns really good and striking's going off. Like, you've seen a lot of highlight knockouts now. You've seen good grapplers. You won't even say people are grapplers anymore. It's more like a hybrid type style where you have the jiu-jitsu and wrestling hybrid. It's just hybrid together. You used to have straight jiu-jitsu guys, and now you have jiu-jitsu guys who turn into wrestlers and stuff. So, you know, the aspect of this game is, if you really look at it in the past, even in the past 5-7 years, the game changed tremendously. Like, just from evolution-wise, from striking to the striking game has gotten a lot better. And people don't realize, too, even 15 years ago, you had a guy, could have been the age 15. 15 years ago, he's 30 years old now. You know how much time a kid was spending in the gym? Like, that's amazing. I started when I was 25, 26. I was behind the ball game when I started. So, and I tell people, too, where when I went pro first, I tell a lot of guys in my gym, when I was fighting pro, like, some of these amateur fighters that you see fighting now, 15 years ago, they've been wiping the floors on pro guys. So the game changed tremendously, and it's going to continue to change, too. So.
Speaking of that, I reached out to our stat guy, Mike Bond, back at Junkie, that, you know, because you mentioned about you thought this was going to be the record for light heavyweights. You're currently tied with Shogun at 24. This will be 25, so you will set the record. You will have the most fights in the UFC. That being said, you talked a little bit about how things have changed. You know, you've seen this go quite a bit. I mean, like, in your time, you talked about the striking sort of change. What's the biggest thing that you've seen change in the sport from your time when you got in? You talked about the evolution, but what has really stuck out to you that the biggest involvement of the game since when you got into it?
Shoot, I guess the biggest thing is the diet. Everything is scientific now, because back in the day, it'd just be like you die to cut weight.
Yeah.
You literally die to cut weight. But like now, everything, it's to the point you eating the night before weigh-ins. Typical fighters, back then, fighters didn't do that. Yeah. But you had so much diet that came through. I remember Dolce diet that came through. A lot of people still use, what's his name? I forget his name. Lockhart diet, a lot of people still use him. But then after the PI just basically got everything down to a science. But you get other guys that actually know what they're doing, like kind of dive into like just doing stuff like I know I worked with Tyler Minton before. He's really good at doing stuff like that. But and the thing about it is, with him, he fought before too, and he understands how things work. Or how your body works and whatnot, because some things can work for some fighters and whatnot, and that's the biggest thing. I think even with the UFC, like talking to the people at the PI when they're working on your diet and stuff, I'm like, hey, look, I know this shit sucks, but I'm sorry, I know this sucks, but this is the way you have to do it. But the diet now is like I'm happy because I get to eat during weigh-ins, or not weigh-ins, I get to eat during fight week. But not even that, the hydration process afterwards. A1. Just simply because you had guys. I remember after like my second or third pro fight. Was it pro fight? I think it was an amateur fight. I can't remember, but I remember after weigh-ins eating some pizza, and I'm like thinking to myself, like, now I used to do some dumb stuff, but like now, like I said, the game changed. Everything is more fine-tuned. Like, what do you eat? How do you eat? Okay, this is your weight goal. If you eat this much amount of food, this much amount of calories, and you train this much, this is exactly the weight you should be. And shoot, I'd be god darn. If you do that, that's exactly the weight you are. And you feel good the whole entire time instead of feeling like you're killing yourself, essentially. So,
I know you've been athletic your whole life, but with the science out there and with, like you said, the diet and stuff, at what point in your career did you finally embrace that particular stuff? You talk about all the extra stuff that you're doing outside to take care of your body, but at what point in your career did you finally say, okay, I really need to start looking at all the fine things outside? Technique's one thing, strategy's one thing, but when did you decide that you had to dial in the diet and dial in what it took to be physically fit to be able to keep doing this for so long?
I mean, for me, I tell people I've been in the weight room all my life. I was a three-letter sport in high school, played football at University of Tennessee, and basically still kept myself in shape afterwards and whatnot. And I think for me, that never went away. I constantly trained my body to do that. And what's crazy about it is when I can get my body out of whack, but when it's time to tune in, my body literally be like, okay, I know what it is. I know how this feels like. Let's go. And I just can push my body to the max and be good. That's the fortunate thing about me. Some people don't want to do it. I love to train. I love to work out. I've been doing it forever. That's pretty much the only thing I know. It's kind of scary too, just because, when all of this is all said and done, people be like, you're not going to work out. I was like, man, I'm going to work out every single day. I'm still going to work out. But as of right now, nothing is done. So I'm good. I'm good to go.
Well, now you're, in a sense, you're going into the record books, for leading for the most light heavyweight fights. But how do you feel? I mean, is this now a number that you want to run up? I mean, you're 40 years old, but do you still see yourself fighting 2 years, 3 years? How's the body feel?
Bro, look, there's other guys that my body feels great, to be honest. Like, again, it's one of them things. Like I said, I've been blessed in a way just because, like, early on in my career, anytime I needed help, anytime like I had something wrong with me, I was able, like, even early on when you started, like, I was able to essentially go to the University of Tennessee and use the trainers that I had and be like, hey, I have this wrong with me. Can you help me out? They'd be like, all right, cool. Sit here. We'll give you the rundown. Boom, 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 boom. Next thing you know, I need you here twice, 3 days a week. I need you here twice or 3 days a week so you can get treatment. I'm still able to use their weight room, cold plunge, the trainers, everybody. Everybody been to me open arms, Even talking to Coach Hypo, he been like, hey, look, anything we can do for you, you let us know. And I was like, believe me, I'm in there a lot.
I was going to ask you, I remember in the past that they asked you back to speak to the players and stuff. Is that something you still get to do?
Yeah, it's funny just for the simple fact where the linebacker coach, he's not at UT anymore, but when he was there, he's Haitian. So, he recruited me out of high school. So him and we were talking. He was like, hey, look, I want you to come talk to our linebackers. And I'm like, all right, cool. I can come talk to your linebackers. And he went from talking to the linebackers, and like 2 days before I come talk, he was like, hey, Coach Hypo needs you to talk to the team. I'm like, what? So I had to talk to the whole team. It was funny because we walked in there, and everybody was kind of talking. They put a highlight video, and everybody got quiet, which is cool, which I got their attention. Then pretty much I was answering questions for the next hour and a half. Hypo had to stop him from asking questions because he was like, okay, we had to stop him. We have never had this much questions asked before. So I was like, all right, that's pretty cool. But every time I go back to the complex and whatnot, it's pretty much all love. Everybody sees me. It's pretty much all love.
MMA highlight or from your playing days?
Huh?
The highlight they showed, was it MMA highlight or your football days?
MMA highlight.
Yeah.
They don't want to see that. They know I used to play football at UT, but they didn't want to see that. But when they see highlight, football guys will be like, ooh. So, but yeah.
Last for me, tell me, break down Kennedy's striking. I mean, obviously, he's expecting you to want to get him to the ground, but so he wants to try to stay standing. What do you think of his striking? How has it evolved since he's been in the UFC?
I mean, his striking actually been pretty good. He's, like I said, he's very long. He's really good at throwing. He has a really sneaky cross that he throws and whatnot. But people also forget too, my striking is actually pretty good. Like, it had a dilemma when I first fought Shogun and whatnot, that people was like he had advantage of his striking over me, and that kind of ticked me off. And I was like, okay, cool. And I ended up knocking him out. But people don't realize, like, within this game, I have unorthodox submissions where I can get just unorthodox technique. So I have knockouts with my legs. I've broken people's arms with my legs. I have a knockout with my hands too. So, it can go either way for me. So I think is more I think the advantage goes more towards me. Some people might not think that. You know, Kennedy, like I said, he's good. His striking is good, but I think mine's a little better.
And we know you're going to be looking for the Von Preux out there as well.
Man, I got so much other crap I can get. I got so much, like my transitions, the way I've been feeling lately, like that right there, that just like that right there is something I can do with my eyes closed. I don't like, it's automatic. I don't have to think about it. I can do it standing up. I can do it pretty much anywhere. So, you know, I don't have to even think about it. You grab my head, I know where to go immediately. So, and if you grab my head, you just know that there's a likelihood that I'm going to beat you to wherever you need to go. So.
Last keys to the victory. What needs to happen to make sure you get your arm raised on Saturday?
I mean, me, just be me. The way I've been training, the way I've been feeling, the way I've been training, the way I've been feeling, the way everything just been clicking together. Just continue that. I'm just kind of hold on to that. Once I hold on to that, I'll be good. You know, also too, Mike have been helping me out a lot, so that's been tremendous. So he just say, look, Mike, I need your help, and he'd be like, okay, let's talk. We'll talk, and it's good.
Best of luck
there. Pete, thanks for taking the time. Well, you touched on it a little bit about just, and if anything, your longevity. But we had that chapter with the Huas, Liddells, Rashad Evans, Lyoto Machidas, and now the one's kind of holding it down would be the OSP and like a Lionheart Smith. Now you're being matched up against that young gun. Do you feel any type of way? You know, you're like the established guy, the name, and now you're in that position to where you're like, oh man, there's a dude up and coming. I'm facing him.
I mean, technically he's not up and coming. He had like probably 7-8 fights in the UFC now.
But against a big name like yourself, like this is his biggest test against the living legend.
It's bound to happen. It happened to me. It happened to me. So I remember I got the Shogun fight on the 8-day notice, and I remember watching when I first got involved in mixed martial arts. That's my man. That's who I was watching. And I was like, man, I get to fight Shogun. He was actually my hero, and I get to fight him. I was a nervous wreck for about 24 hours, and I was like, all right, let's go. But what's crazy about it is, after you make a leap like that, like my trainer said, after you make a leap like that, it was like you're not fighting guys with your level of potential. Everybody else you're going to fight are going to be dogs. So, and that's the thing people don't realize is like, oh yeah, I want to move up. I want to move up. Okay, suit yourself. When you move up, and you be like, oh crap. Because breaking in the top 15 is always good. Top 10, yes. But when you break into the top 5, there's a reason why like a lot of those guys in the top 5 kind of circling up there, because the margin of error is small and they can capitalize off of everything. And you get guys like even Glover, like he was in the top 5 forever, but there was a lot of fights that he had in the first round he was in trouble. But guess what happened? Boom, boom, take you down, crop, boom, submitted. So, those guys that they know how to capitalize on that margin of error. I fought him. When I fought him, he told me, he was like, you probably hit me the hardest in my career, because I hit him with a body kick, and I thought it crumbled him, which it did. And he came back and, like, literally, I'm hitting him with everything. And he was like, hey, look, because I told him, he was like, your fight, he told me, your fight was one of the hardest I ever trained in my life. And I was like, why did you have to wait for my fight to do that? But, things change, though. But at the end of the day, like, I give him a good fight. He ended up finishing me. But, again, he's another legend in the game.
No doubt. And shout out to guys like you and Glover in the 40s, because he was able to go get that belt. I'm not saying you can't do the same thing. Give me one little gem that this version of you is able to compete and stay relevant, as opposed to the younger version that you're like, man, I can't believe I get away with that. I'm so much better and smarter now. Technology.
Well, it's not so much of a technology. Like, people don't often understand. Like, the game of mixed martial arts is a physical game, but people don't realize how much of a mental game it can be. Like, Dustin Poirier was talking about that the other day. How, like, there's times you just start doubting yourself, like, hey, is it me? What am I doing? What should I do? Should I change anything or whatnot? But again, you start talking to people, and you know, Micah has helped me out a lot. So, like literally, hey, look, you're thinking too much. What are you doing right now? Hey, you need to catch on. You need to hold on to your balloon. So he tells me that, and I'm just telling myself, okay, cool. I've been feeling good. Even, you know, when I'm going out running, I like running by myself at night, just because the elements is a little different. So everybody can run outside during the daytime and feel good, but at night is a little different when you run at night. You know, your senses, all your senses tend to be heightened. I like that. It kind of gives me a flight or fight type of deal, which helps me out tremendously. And doing it helps. But doing it, I know when it helps when it's late at night, it's pitch black, and I see something run across me, and I don't even flinch.
Awesome.
That's when I kind of know, like, I'm in a zone now, and I'm like, all right, cool, I'm good. So, you know, just doing different things to actually, you know, bring your focus sharp. Because I know what I'm capable of doing. You know, people see me training in the gym, and like, I know what Vince is capable of doing. But a lot of times when you want to apply it, you know, to in the octagon or whatnot, sometimes like the nervousness get to you or whatnot. And I've been doing this for a while, but it happens to everybody. Dustin Poirier had been doing it for a while, and he was like, man, my head was just jacked up. It happens to a lot of people. So if you get the right help for it, you typically end up being good.
Hey, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that, and just even the fact that like a true mixed martial artist to get dialed in, even knowing how to do that, that's a big one for you, my man. You touched on something earlier that I don't hear about much. We don't really hear people talking about, you know, that recovery. Why do you think there's a lack of education in that? Because that definitely will prolong your career, but you don't hear people go in on like, oh man, I got this way to heal up, this way to my body, the deep tissue massage, yoga, Pilates, whatever. You don't hear that. Like, are people not educated enough on recovery?
I mean, you got to think about it too. A lot of fighters, when they came into the game, they didn't really come with anything. They didn't come with any. There was only a few fighters that came in with certain type of deals, like, well, I need to get a deep tissue, I need to get recovery or whatnot. So everybody used to just grind or whatnot, and you know, it's kind of a good thing with the PI came into play. Like, a lot of fighters started knowing about that now, so that helps out a lot, especially the people, the guys at the PI. When you with Heather, Bobby, and all of them, they know what they're doing. Like, literally, like, hey, Bobby, I got this wrong with me. Like, even when I used to talk to Heather, what do you think about this? Doing a full body assessment on you, and you'd be like, okay, this is where you're lacking at. You're tight on this, so we need to focus more on this. We're going to tailor your workouts around here or whatnot. So, I mean, they know what they're doing. So that helped out tremendously. But even beforehand, I used to call and be like, hey, what do you think about this? Hey, what do you think about this? I'm always asking questions, especially when it comes to like recovery type, whether it's doing dry needling, whether it's doing shockwave therapy, whether it's doing fascial stretching and whatnot. I'm always asking the question. Anybody asks me about something, I'm always asking them about it.
Awesome, man. Well, good luck on Saturday. Can't wait to see you and the new haircut.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
How's everyone? Oh, there it is. How's everyone doing today? Awesome. Sensational.
We're good, but that's what we're supposed to ask you. So how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing sensationally. I appreciate you asking me that question. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? It's fight week. It's fight week. And, I'm just really, I'm stoked for this one. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a really, really fun fight. We're in a really fun spot on the card. You know what I mean? I'm ready to go.
So what excites you the most about this fight? Is it the opponent, the location, the fact that you're co-main? Or is it all just combined?
Mainly the opponent. I think he's really underrated. I think he's very, very dangerous, very, very tough. And, he's a good person for me to showcase my skills against. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of, since I've gotten to the UFC, a lot of areas I've improved in, a lot of places I've gotten better. Since the last fight, there's a lot of places I've gotten better and improved in. And, someone this tough, someone this good really gives me a chance to show everyone how much better I've gotten.
He told us that he's been wanting to fight you for a couple years, that he's never called you out, but that you've always been on his radar. Did you know that?
No, I don't care. That don't matter to me. You know what I mean? Because, I'm still going to whoop him regardless. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure there's a lot of people that want to fight me. You know what I mean? That don't make a difference. I'm going to whoop him either way. He wants to fight me. He doesn't want to fight me. Once we start going at it on Saturday night, he's going to realize he doesn't want to be in there with me. So, cool. I'm happy that he got the fight he wanted. That's awesome. Good for him.
What did you think when you got the name? What did you think about the matchup between the two of you?
Well, I was familiar with him from just doing tape study on AJ, and it was just like another person, to be honest, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you want to fight Ange on, it's like, okay, yeah, sure. Like, it doesn't really matter. I'm kind of like a say yes, check stuff, check the stats later kind of guy. And, it's not like he's like a really big name. So it's not like I was like it wasn't like I was asking to fight him. You know what I'm saying? It was just someone who was offered to me. And it didn't really matter who was offered to me. I would have been like, yeah, and I would have been excited for the fight regardless. Now, after going back and watching his tape more, studying him more, the ability that he has, it does really, really pump me up. So I'm excited about it now, but when they gave me the name, it was just another name, you know what I mean?
What sort of fight are you expecting from him?
The type of fight he always does, you know what I'm saying? Fast, explosive guy, you know what I'm saying? Very clean, technical striking. I'm expecting more wrestling out of him, you know what I'm saying? They're talking about the people that he's training with. You can see over the course of his fight since he's been in the UFC, he's shooting more and more and more. So especially after I touch him a couple times, I'm expecting some shots out of him. So I'm expecting a high-paced fight, you know what I mean? I'm sure he's going to try to push the pace. I'm going to try to push the pace. We're just going to see, turn the heat up and see who melts first, you know what I mean?
I know you don't want to look too past your opponent, but have you looked at this year and kind of game planned how you see the rest of this year playing out for you?
Not at all. Like, always, just ideally, I would like to fight 3 times every year, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of hard to make happen, but, no, you know what I'm saying? Because this is it right now, you know what I'm saying? It's like, this fight is the most important fight of my life, so it's like, I haven't really thought too much about what happens after this fight, you know what I mean?
You have a new baby, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Has it been difficult to have training and a newborn in the house?
Well, yeah, for sure. But big shout out to my wife and my family. We're fortunate that we live close to our family, so they've been able to lighten the burden a little bit. And my wife's just been a real big gangster over the course of because it's been basically like the last month, so like the toughest stretch of fight camp, and so she's just picked up a lot of slack and really helped me do what I need to do to get ready for war on Saturday.
So if you get that bonus, you're going to spend it on the baby or the mom? Or yourself, I guess.
Both. all the above. You know what I mean? But you know, once again, you know, it's like I haven't even really put that much thought into, you know, what I'm gonna do with what after the fight. You know what I'm saying? All that matters right now is Saturday night, is Ange. You know what I'm saying? That's all that I'm thinking about. That's all that, you know what I'm saying? In my head, if you just see me sitting there in silence, I'm thinking about this fight and what I'm gonna do to this man. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know what I mean? If I get the bonus, then you know, ask me after the fight. After the fight, I'll probably, you know, have a better answer for you.
Thank you.
But my man, thanks for taking the time.
Oh, thank you for being here. Thank you for
sir.
talking to me.
No, of course, of course. Right out the gate, I love that you kept that look. The last time you explained to us, I think, was it your sisters that dyed your hair for you?
Yes, sir.
But you're gonna keep that going and make them happy?
Yes, sir. Yes. I mean, it's just, you know, it's a vibe right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm killing people. You know what I mean? And it is kind of, you know, I think your appearance, you know what I'm saying, says something. If you get into it like that, you know what I'm saying? As soon as because I don't always have my hair dyed, you know what I'm saying? And as soon as I get the hair dyed, that's when the butcher starts coming out. You know what I'm saying? That's like, it's just, that's when the flip starts switching. You know what I mean? When I got to be a regular guy, you won't see my hair like it is right now. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it just kind of helps me go through my process and, you know, let that little monster that's inside of me out that can't be, you know, roaming the streets normally. You know what I'm saying?
That's awesome, man. And how fun is it that it's all coming together here at Apex? Because you called yourself the Apex Predator, so this is kind of like a home field advantage now.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I mean, if you count my tough fights, which I do, you know what I'm saying, those were against professionals, you know what I'm saying, I have more wins in the Apex than anyone else, you know what I mean, so I'm just going to add to the list on Saturday. What I will say, though, is I am ready to fight in front of big crowds again. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, not only am I ready, the people are ready. You know what I'm saying? When it got announced that I was fighting in the Apex, you know, you go look at the comments underneath, people are like, ah, man, dude, why is he still fighting in the, I want to watch the butcher. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are disappointed. You know, people want to fly out all the time. People are like, I want to go see your fight. I want to go see your fight. I want to go see your fight. You know what I'm saying? I got to be in a place where the people can see me. You know what I mean? So that's another thing about this fight. I have to make a statement and show them that, you know, I'm that kind of person. I can put butts in seats. You know what I'm saying? I can get views. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to put me in a primetime position because I'm a primetime player. You know what I mean?
Oh, I feel that. That's awesome. What better way to do it than as a co-main event?
Absolutely. No, I mean, that's just, it's dope. You know what I'm saying? It's like that slow progress. You know what I'm saying? Undercard. Then you get main card, you know what I'm saying, co-main event. And so it's just like continuing that build, continuing the work, taking it one step at a time, you know what I mean, until we get to the ultimate goal, which is being at the top of the division. So, no, it's definitely, it was really cool seeing that, you know what I mean? Because it was like I think the highest I've been up on the card before this, maybe it was AJ, but it was like the tough finale. But you know, I was on that spot in the card because I was a tough finalist, you know what I mean? And now being here, it feels like I really earned it. You know what I'm saying? I'm really a viable co-main event, you know what I'm saying? So it's really cool.
That's awesome, man. And last for me, so I already have it written down. I don't have to try to guess. What Benny the Butcher track are we walking out to?
I'll be honest. We're not walking out to Benny this time. I listened to a lot of Benny. I love Benny. You know what I'm saying? He's been listening to his new album just dropped not too long ago. I've been listening to a lot of Benny the Butcher. I'm walking out to Man of the Year by Schoolboy Q this time, though. Yes, sir.
Man, that's perfect. That would be even more awesome for an arena. But we'll get there.
Yes, sir.
I mean, good luck on Saturday. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir. The Shui King himself.
So welcome back. How are you feeling?
I feel good. Ready. Want to hurry up and get this fight going.
Yeah, so there was a delay a little bit in the fight. Can you talk to me a little bit about how that came about?
I tore my meniscus, so I had to get surgery and get that taken out and taken care of, and just push the fight back. Oh well, luckily for the UFC and Marcin himself, he accepted to move the fight back, so I appreciate that. And yeah, now we're here.
Is a month enough? I don't know what that recovery is like. It seems like a quick turnaround.
Oh, I could have. I was pushing it to make Anaheim, which meaning I could have, but in my team, we wanted just to give us the best. Obviously, we waited to see if we could get on a show, which we luckily we could. So thankful for that.
Is there any disappointment that you're going to be fighting here without fans when you could have? But then there's the flip side of now you're the main event. So it's kind of a positive and a negative.
Look, at the end of the day, fight's a fight. But I love the crowd. Everyone knows I love the crowd. But these Apex shows are pretty cool. I don't mind them. Kind of get in and out and then off to in and out.
What's your in and out order?
Whatever. At the moment, I'll take 10 of whatever.
So
we got to wait till after.
Can you talk to me a little bit about the matchup? What are you expecting?
Marcin's been around for a long time. I've watched him for many years. Very experienced. I'm not going to be able to bring anything that he hasn't seen before, But I know his job, his plan is to try and drag me through the rounds, and then he'll try and wear me down, I suppose. But this is the heavyweight division, and I'm going to come out and I'm going to come hard and try and get this job done.
Do you anticipate it being a quick fight with him?
Oh, look, in my head, I'd love every fight to be 10 seconds, but unfortunately, my coaches don't let me train for that long. So I've put in the work. I've had a few injuries along the way. I've had to clean up. But my team around me at the moment, and I've got all the old heads up, so they're really giving me some great advice, and I feel confident.
Can you reveal any of that great advice they've given you?
I just listen. If I go and do my own thing, probably end up no good. So I just listen to them, and whatever they tell me, I'm falling in line.
You're not going to pull a Dustin Poirier and keep trying to go for that guillotine? Did you see the fights?
No, sorry.
Okay, so you have no idea what I'm talking about.
But yeah, guillotine sounds good.
Can you talk to me a little bit about potential pressure going into this fight? You're coming off some losses. Is there some pressure, or does it feel like just any other fight for you?
Oh, there's always pressure. But it's no pressure I haven't seen before. I've been here before in my life and in fighting, but my preparation has been good, so I'm relying on that.
There's also some kind of a holdup in the heavyweight division right now with John Jones and Stipe and all this Tom Aspinall. What would you like to see happening at the top?
Again, I don't really watch what's going on unless it kind of involves me. I don't really care. My main focus right now is marching, and I've been losing. So my main focus is to win, and to give myself every chance to win. And I feel like I've done that. And I'm sick of training, to be honest. Fuck, I just want to punch on.
And your fellow countryman Tyson Pedro just retired. I was wondering if you had any thoughts on that, on his career or him as a fighter.
Yeah, that's my also, so I'll support him in whatever he does. Obviously, his decisions are his decisions, and he's made it for what he has to do. Like I said a lot today, we're fathers before we are fighters, and he's got to feed his family, and whatever he has to do, I'll support him.
I spoke to your opponent. I asked if he would do a shoey with you after. He said if it's a clean shoe. So I wanted to let you know he would consider it, but he's very reluctant.
Well, the UFC shoes they're new, so we can. I'd love to do one, of course. I respect all my opponents. You know, once we get in there, we go to war, and then after, that's it. We can do whatever.
Thank you.
Hey, Tai, thanks for taking the time. Just if you can just talk a little bit about, just being in Vegas, you got that main event spot, you're on the poster, but what kind of tweaks or adjustments did you and the team have to do with this fight going from state to state and 15 to 25?
A lot of this camp has been since my last fight. I've had to do a lot of things injury-wise, so there is no excuse. I don't like to make excuses. If I lose, I lose. But my last fight, my last preparation really wasn't the best due to injuries and stuff like that. But as fighters, we got to rock up and go to work every day. So there's no excuse. But I feel like my body is much better. I've had to get those things cleaned up, and yeah, man, it's been a long camp. I'm over it.
Man, well, that just makes it even more exciting to see you this weekend. How has the support been? Because lose or win, we know that you give it 100%, put your heart into it, and fans love you for that. How has the support been from fans, regardless of the outcome, that hold you down and like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be good.
My fans, that's why I'm so with them. I don't know. They're the people that keep me going. As long as I come out and I win or lose, as long as I know that I gave it my all and I go out and then have a crack. I think that's, like you said, that's what my fans love of me. As long as I can keep doing that, obviously I don't want to fucking keep losing, but as long as I can keep doing that and keep making my fans proud, that means everything to me. And I don't want to leave the cage. I got to go home to my son. I don't want to show him that, you just give it half-assed. I want to go in there and give it 100%.
Awesome, man, and great job for setting an example for that young man. Last for me, you take all the fights. You're going to fight every weekend if you could. Another reason why people support you. But what does Marcin give you? What challenges are you ready to overcome, or what opportunity do you see? Like, man, this guy's really good at this. Let me test my ability.
He gave me 5 rounds, and my coaches didn't let me down. So, and I know Marcin can fight those 5 rounds, and he can fight them hard, which is something we've been preparing for. I don't like going the rounds, but I've never gassed out. My fitness is good. I feel good, but to be honest, I want to get this party started. I want to get it over with, and that's I'm coming out for head.
Man,
that sounded a bit weird.
Well, we'll end on this question. The meniscus, thank you for disclosing that and helped you heal. Do you see this? Can you flip this around as a positive and be like, you know what, man, maybe I needed to listen to my body and just kind of chill out for a little bit?
Yeah, look. We're human. We bleed the same as everyone else, and our heads are the same as everyone else. It's everyone gets to see the glitz and the glamour of what we do, but this shit's hard, man. This sport is hard mentally, physically, hard on your family. They got to cop a lot of the shit end of things. But this is what we do. We're fighters. We rock up and we go to work.
Well, can't wait to see it, and good luck on Saturday, my man.
Cheers, brother.
I know the injury did keep you out for a little bit, and in the years 21, 22, you were very, very active. Now that we know the injuries and just making sure your body's healthy, what's the perfect number of fights for you in a year? Is it maybe 2 fights, or what's the best for you?
Look, I want active Bam Bam is a better Bam Bam. Like I said, I'm lucky I got these old heads around me. They keep me in line. If I go and do my own thing, I can just venture off. So. My main job is just to keep listening to them and keep doing that. But, man, we got this weekend and whatever else after that. If this ends fast, if it doesn't end fast, I'm ready to go. I want to get a few in this year. I want to go to work.
And the last, I know you said you like the Apex shows, but you also love the crowd. You love what they give to you. Are you bummed that this fight, since you're so ready now, are you bummed that you weren't able to fight at Miami?
I would have been bummed if I couldn't get a fight. You know, like I said, thankful to Marcin. I messaged him and I said, you know, I appreciate you accepting to move it back. You know, that's. I never want to pull out of a fight. I'm never gonna pull out of a fight. I just ask for some extra time. But yeah, we're good. We're good to go.
Best of luck for Saturday.
Thank you, brother.
Ty, man, I know that you've been interested in, getting into professional wrestling at some point, man. And, speaking about the health just now, I'm curious, would that be something you'd really want to, dive into full career-wise, or, just do a couple matches? Have you thought about that?
Oh, look, I've always thought everyone wants to be a wrestler when they're a kid. And I went and watched it not too long ago in Perth. And amazing athletes. They're jumping off shit, they're running through stuff. It's crazy shit. So it's something that I would love to do, of course. But right now, my main focus is the UFC. I've got a few fights with the UFC. They've always been good to me, and my job is to give them and the fans what they want.
Is it cool for you to see kind of the combination now with the parent company, owning UFC and WWE? So there's that connection there,
Hey, I'll go to more if they take me. I don't care. I love it. It's cool. It's like they were jumping off shit, running through cages. Hopefully I don't hurt myself. Knowing me, I'd probably break my neck the first jump.
Oh, we don't need that, man. I mean, you've always been a very durable guy, though. I mean, in terms of the chin, holding up Ty, and getting into the slugfest, man. But I gotta ask you, you fought so many great opponents too, some of the hardest hitters in heavyweight, aside from yourself. Is there a guy you'd say has been the hardest hitter specifically out of who you fought?
Oh, yeah. Big Russia, Pavlovich. He hit hard. He hit really hard, and he hit me first. This is a lot of heavyweights. We know what the goal is. We know what people are good at. We know what people are bad at. But we all know that one punch can end it. It's just first in, best dressed. That's the rule.
Yeah, man. And obviously, Sergey was in the title scene recently with Tom Aspinall, and things are kind of messy up there. I just got to get your thoughts on kind of the top of the division and what's playing out. What you think should happen?
Yeah, well, I was watching that and I was thinking, fuck, only if I hit him. But I didn't. That's the sport. You either do or you don't, and I didn't. He got me first, and fuck, I felt it. And I was there just I was just there eating the Russian sandwiches.
And do you think Aspinall should go ahead and fight Jones next, or are you interested in Jones Stipe? It's kind of the.
I think, like I said, I'm not a big watcher, but I would like to watch the big things. I think that'll be a perfect fight. I think, no disrespect, but what's his name's finished?
Stipe?
Stipe's, I don't know. Is he still going?
He wants to.
Oh, he wants to fight? Oh, well, let him fight. Stipe's the best heavyweight of all time. No, hands down. You can never not. Well, if he wants, I thought he didn't want to fight. I don't know. Like I said, I don't watch this shit enough, man.
He wants the Jones fight. That's the one. He wants.
I just like fighting. I don't like watching.
Fair enough, man. We like watching you fight. So best of luck, Ty.
Why don't you like watching? Is it too is it one of those things where if you're watching it, you want to be doing it?
Yeah, but it's I watch if I know them. If it's my friend, I'll watch. But other than that, I don't like. I've never really been. I don't watch really anything. Yeah, no, I don't watch TV at all either.
No rugby, no anything.
I watch the Penrith Panthers. I watch something that I have I know. Other than that, I don't really. Doesn't interest me. I don't really find watching boys roll around cuddling each other and shit. I don't define. That's not really. I'm not into that. Some people are, but it's just not my thing.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
right, well, welcome back. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Feeling excited.
How different is this fight week for you than the past?
It's a little bit different just because I'm not tripping about my not tripping, but more like that mental clarity of the weight or if things can go wrong. So it's been a good week so far.
What about your training camp? Have you changed anything up? Have you put on any weight, or are you just kind of sticking to what you were before and just not cutting, or what's the game plan there?
Yeah, I'm cutting a little less, but I did start to emphasize more on strength and conditioning, more sessions on that, and just really focusing on the fight itself.
How do you think you'll perform at featherweight?
I'm excited. I won't be depleted. I think I'll put on a really, really good performance.
What are your thoughts on the matchup?
I think Isaac's very good. He's a good wrestler, but it's nothing I haven't seen before. I think I fought tougher opponents before. I'm not looking past them, but I know what I bring to the table.
He says that you said that this fight was personal, but he doesn't know why. Did you say that?
Yeah, I said it's personal.
Why is it personal?
Every fight's personal for me. You know, it's like I get in the cage with someone who wants to take away my money, wants to hurt me. So every fight's personal for me. But this one, I kind of have more of a chip on my shoulder, just because last year things didn't go the way I wanted to. So that's why it's very personal for me.
Would it be difficult for you to fight somebody that you liked?
Maybe. I don't think so, though. I think once we get in there, it's like, I feel like it depends. If it's like, I wouldn't be able to fight my teammates, but if it's someone I like, then I feel like we can just put it aside and figure it out later.
What sort of fight are you expecting from him? Do you feel like you can get in and out of there pretty quick, or are you expecting a war with him?
I expect a war. He hasn't made it past the first round, but I know he's capable of pushing the pace, and we're going to have a really good fight.
Do you believe in superstitions at all or anything like that? Because your last two fights, you took O's from people. Mm-hmm. So this could potentially be your third in a row. Is that something that you think about and you want to kind of keep that going, or does that not matter to you?
It doesn't matter. Either way, I'm going to finish him.
How do you think you're going to finish him?
A knockout, TKO, either or.
Thank you.
Christian, thanks for taking the time. For this one, just to touch on what you were talking about with Amy, you see a fighter who hasn't gone the distance. And if you've had that edge or you have the experience, kind of like we saw with, this weekend with Dustin Poirier, once he was able to get it into like a little deeper waters, he took over. Is that a little bit of a mental side of you to where you're like, you know what, I'm going to use that against you, that you don't go 10 or 15 with nobody. I'm going to go ahead and drown you out there when we go.
Yeah, it's something on my mind, just because, too, I seen his interview, too, where he was kind of saying shit about me fighting the little kids, and those little kids have better records than his opponents. You know, he's fought two people with winning records. One of them was 41 years old, so it's like, you can't disrespect me, you know? But, yeah, I'm definitely expecting deep waters.
That's what's up, man. And if you could disclose anything, what made you guys just finally say, okay, I'm going to sit down with the team, sit down with the family, got to go to 45. Like, my body can only take so much, and I want to be in this game for a minute. And if I keep killing myself, this is going to affect the longevity. Like, what was the final, straw, if you will, that made you say, okay, now we're going up?
I think it was my last weight cut, too. Things were going perfect. And then when it came down to the weight cut, everything just went bad. So it's like one of those things where I can try my hardest, but if my body won't allow it sometimes, then it's kind of difficult for me.
And speaking of difficulty, now being in your new home, I'm assuming we're going to stick to 45 going further. How do you feel? How's the mental? How's your body? How's your recovery? Maybe you're like, dude, I should have done this sooner.
I feel great. It's different for sure. It's like now I'm training just to focus on the fight, where before I would focus on the fight and I would have to focus on my diet really strict. It's like I'm really OCD about my weight and stuff like that. So it is more of a mental clarity this time.
That's awesome, man. And the final two, tienes un oponente que espera poder ganarte, finalizarte, como que sobreconfiado. ¿Puedes tú usar esa confianza que tiene como una desventaja para tú usar tu experiencia y tu paciencia para poder triunfar este sábado?
Sí, él nunca ha peleado contra nadie como yo. Todos sus contrincantes son buenos, pero no son en mi nivel. Entonces, está bien que está muy confiado porque se va a arrepentir el sábado.
Y me acabas de explicar en español, pero digo en inglés y ahora en español. cuando diste el peso de 135 libras, tienes varias batallas de gallo, pero ahora peso pluma. ¿Cómo te has sentido en esta nueva categoría? Y obviamente, ¿cuál fue la razón final que dijiste, ok, ya tengo que irme de los 35 a los 45 para tener más vida aquí en el UFC?
Me siento muy contento con este cambio de peso. Este cambio de peso me ha ayudado mucho en mi mente, con mi cuerpo, donde no me estoy tratando de matar para hacer el peso. Y la última pelea es cuando ya fallé 2-3 veces, entonces era algo que necesitamos pensar de empezar a subir.
Gracias, man. Buena suerte el sábado. Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you.